situation if that arises? Have you been trained? Do you know what are the various ways people crack your passwords? Do you understand exactly how to reverse that so that your organization gets protected? And more often than not, you will hear, well, not really. What I do know is how to click those boxes and secure my organizations. But we are faced with attacks from the hacking underground, and the tools that are being developed are new every single day. In fact, the hacker mentality is such that when one group develops a tool, the second group develops another tool. And they're doing this on a World Wide Web, and they're attacking us, our clients, our organizations, and our nation. So a typical corporate network, well, it can be really complex. It's funny. All of these devices produce a log. And who read those logs? Who really interprets the data? Well, in our organization, we don't have that many people that actually know how to do this within the time limit that's allocated, within the job scope that's given to us, so that it can defend our organization. Okay, let's talk about electronic jihad. These are just two of the examples that I'm going to show. There are many out there, but I'm just trying to depict to you the sophistication that's taking place in the underground and what common nations are really up against. So basically the electronic jihad program is basically been part of a long-term vision of this site called aljinan.org. And basically what it does is it will allow users to target specific IP addresses so that they can bring down servers of the inverted comma enemy. Now, this is how it basically works. They actually have a site, and well, this is in Arabic. It doesn't mean that it cannot be in English or in Spanish or in any other language. So when I talk about electronic jihadis, don't just think of the Middle East immediately. Think about other regions. Think about China against the US. Think about India against Pakistan. Think about China, Taiwan. Think about all of those, because when we talk of terrorism, is not just limited to just one group. It can be a whole wide group. And now they've taken their war online. And you'll have Professor Leck, who is the foremost expert in cyber terrorism here, and he's going to be speaking to you a lot more about what's actually happening in the hacking underground. But look at that. You have now a website that you can go to. You can now launch an attack. You do not need to be specifically trained as long as you have my vision, we have a common vision, and we want to bring that enemy down. They even have the software which is called the Mujahideen. I can't pronounce that. The Mujahideen secrets encryption program. And what it does very quickly is it's a simple file that you download. It has a screenshot just like the other one. But look at that. You'll be able to encrypt files, you'll be able to decrypt files, you will assign and verify. They even have authentication to make sure you are really a terrorist that belongs to our group. Isn't that one? That's one that's really unique. I mean, can you believe that? I want to see them having an IT policy as well. Welcome to the IT policy of the terrorist organization A. And I want to see them, write up people and say, you're fired because you didn't follow that. They even have file shredders that will shred files. And all the preferences. And does that look very complex to you? Not at all. It's just simple click. So that's why we are saying that asymmetrical warfare is going to be much more easier to be launched now than it ever was before. Because now, and by the way, asymmetrical warfare is small against big, one against many. Because look at all of the sophistication that we see in the underground that is completely there, and it's free. They do not need to pay, and we need to pay a lot of money to defend our organizations. So, okay, let's give you some real-life examples. I get into these conferences and people come up to me and say, Sanjay, what you say was fantastic, but we have an antivirus program. Not one, not two. We have 3 because my budget is really large. And therefore, Sanjay, we're secure. Really? Well, to those of you that are certified ethical hackers, defense mechanism, antivirus, breach mechanism, virus reconstruction kit. Because antiviruses work by signatures. The virus reconstruction kit basically allows you to rip apart existing viruses. You can now merge them in. You can have different payloads, and you can attack the user as simple as a click. So I could have maybe 7 to 8 different viruses or worms put together, have this software launch. I have no real technical knowledge apart from knowing what a payload is and understanding really what I want to accomplish. this software is now going to rip apart the various viruses or worms that I want. It's going to start merging them, put them into a file, look at the kilobyte and say, all right, this is slightly too big. Let's make it small. Move it to 3 different separate packets so that antivirus signatures will not be able to detect it. Be able to shoot this down, get into your email through a Trojan, converge it back, and now I've attacked you. And yet we talk about antiviruses with such zeal and zealousness that we feel that, wow, this is the greatest invention. I'm not suggesting that you don't need antivirus. What I'm suggesting is, do not live in the corporate arrogance mentality that any one solution fits all. And that includes having certified ethical hackers. Just because you have CH doesn't mean you're secure. We are just one part of that entire puzzle. And that puzzle that we need to really understand, and we need to have viruses, antiviruses, we need to have firewalls, we need to have IDSs, we need to make sure we have people that actually can bind it together. And that is the broad mentality that we need. Okay, so let's talk of biometrics, right? Defense mechanism, biometrics. Sanjay, yes, what you said is right. But we secure facilities with biometrics. Well, talk to the guys from NDU later, and they will tell you biometrics. Yeah, right. Been there, done that, tested it, breached it. Here's a fingerprint breach mechanism that you can use, and what they use is simple. They just use common computers, common digital cameras, wood glue. They basically take the impression off from the device with either a duct tape. They will then basically scan that. They will put on wood glue so that it will basically have all of the grooves that you need for the fingerprint. They'll then put it onto a mold, and you now have breached that. Okay? Encryption. Yes, Sanjay, everything you say about it is true.